It is a joyful thing that we have gathered for this evening, and I wish you could see the view from where I am. It's the best seat in the house is to be here with the bride and groom as they renew their vows this evening. Marriage is such an amazing thing. Only God could have created marriage. Yet we live in a world where the value of marriage, the meaning of marriage is almost completely lost. Marriage pictures Christ and the church. And so when the Bible tells a man to love his wife, it says, love your wife as Christ loved the church. And when the Bible tells a woman to respect and submit to her husband, it tells her to do that in the way the church submits to Christ. And so without understanding Christ and the church, you cannot understand marriage. So I'm here to charge my brother and his bride today with fresh, strong, Christ-exalting commitment to marriage. I'm reminded of what a line from a movie when someone said to someone else, if this thing goes south, it's all you. This is on you, Brother Simon. This marriage is on you. This leading of this family, it's on you. God has given you this responsibility, this joy, this privilege to love your wife and to lead your home and to show the glory of Christ in marriage and in a family. It's a weighty thing. It's a beautiful thing. I know for Beth and me, it has been such a joy to spend time with the two of you, to see your love growing and to see your love expressed and to see your biblical perspective on marriage and on children. It's a beautiful thing. I want to encourage you to be strengthened in that. Keep growing. To keep leading. When you don't have the strength, you go to God and you find the strength in God to lead your family. To know ahead of time what the day should be like and the week and the month and the year. To know what the needs of the family are, what the needs of your wife are, but the needs of your children. They are many, and they are manifold. And this calls for wisdom. This calls for long hours of prayer, long hours poring over the Word. When you sit down at the breakfast table or the dinner table, you need to sit there as one who has heard from God. And now, on the basis of that, can lead your wife and lead your children in a way that honors Him. There are many things that arise in marriage and in parenting. Many issues, many difficulties, many joys, many unspeakable joys. In all of these we rejoice and we give thanks to God. And we look to Him for His perspective to ask the question, God, what do you think about this? God, what do you want done here? As a man, it can sometimes be a challenging thing to understand what's in the heart of your wife. But you have that grace from God. Christ has called you to it and equipped you for it. To know how to love and cherish and care for her in a way that she feels loved and cherished and cared for. To lead in a way that expresses that love. And Jackie, as the Lord calls you to submit to and respect Simon, He gives you the strength and the grace for that. Just as the church does to Christ, He gives you the grace. And you won't be harmed in that. God is blessing you as you walk in that direction and revealing His grace and His glory in all of that. So as we think about marriage, as we think about this fresh commitment to these vows, to what it means to have a godly Christian marriage, we look to Christ alone for that strength. The reading in Colossians 3 is so beautiful. Before it gets to the end of the chapter to talk about how a wife should submit to her husband, and how a husband should love his wife, and how children should obey their parents. Long before the chapter gets there, it reveals very important truth. When it says, you have died, and your life is hidden with Christ in God. You're in Christ. That has to change everything about life, about marriage, and about parenting. You are in Christ. The things that we're called to in Christian marriage are impossible. But with God, all things are possible. So Simon, you need to be equipped and prepared to lead in this amazing calling to be a husband and to be a father, to love your wife and let that be expressed in clear ways, and to love your children and to help them do what they're called to do. Your wife is called to show you respect, and sometimes you have to help her understand what that means. A wife doesn't always know to respect her husband. Sometimes you have to help her. And to help your children obey their parents. Children don't always know how to obey. And so it comes to you to help them obey. That's not self-centered. When you help your children obey, you're loving. You're loving. And you're caring for their souls for all eternity. So may God give you the grace and the strength to lead in this way. And may we as a congregation and as friends and family come around in fresh insight toward the meaning and the glory of marriage and having children to raise in the Lord. These are weighty things and glorious things. How joyful it is to see the way the love of Christ and the grace of Christ is expressed to you.